What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ryan, and I'm going to do 3 live nootropics critiques. These are stacks that have come in from people. We get probably 34 emails every day of folks saying, look, here's my stack, what do you think? I can't get to all of them. I try to, trust me. I just run out of time. The math just beats me. But I will pick 3 of them and talk about them on air today. Guys, remember, everything that we put out on this channel is brought to you by a couple of products. Right now, Cortex stack, $33 at the website if you want to just support us outright. If you want a discount on Cortex, just go to the homepage at livecortex.com and you'll see options for 2 for $48, 3 for $70, 4 for $90, $6 shipping out the door if you were in the States. If you need my help on formulating stacks, you guys know the routine. We've got a consulting service. I mean, we just help a lot of people to figure out stacks that work well for their profession, whatever it is they need, brain function wise. If you're new to nootropics, 3 options: either Smarter, Better, Faster, digital book we wrote for people that are new, teach you everything, Nootropics Starter Pack, which is Smarter, Better, Faster, plus a bottle of our stack Cortex, and the Nootropics Starter Pack Pro, which is Cortex, a consult with me, Smarter, Better, Faster, the Racetam God Guide, and stack list. Lastly, if you are a man and you want to boost testosterone, I mean, look, if you want to lose weight, build muscle easier, want to go to the gym, a lot of guys, like, the first sign is libido tanking, but the second sign is not wanting to go to the gym. And then even if they go to the gym, like having crappy workouts and not feeling like they're building muscle and feeling super fatigued afterward, there's various chemical pathways you have to optimize perfectly, or as perfect as you can, to boost testosterone, and we know them. If we have a protocol, it's called the Viking Testosterone Protocol. Last thing, if you have adrenal fatigue, we can help you get your life back at the Adrenal Protocol, livecortex.com. All right, so I figured this would be a little change up, kind of just like not doing the green screen and talking about this stuff live in the Cortex Labs office. So I want to read you the first stack. We'll talk about, in 2 of these, the person explains what they think is wrong with the stack. They're not getting the best out of the stack, so I'm just going to do a stack critique and suggest what I think they should change. The first stack is 750 milligrams aniracetam, 200 milligrams of alpha GPC, 100 milligrams of theacrine, 10 milligrams of Noopept, and then a B complex. So let me just say what's right about the stack. I like that you're stacking aniracetam with theacrine because they stack well together. I mean, obviously Noopept stacks well with both of those as well. I also really like that you're taking a B complex with this because this is a highly cholinergic stack, and B vitamins will help regulate any overages if there are, and just kind of help synergize the rest of the stack together. That's what I like about it. And so his explanation is it works for 2 days and then it stops working and makes me tired. It either stops working or makes him tired, and he has to stop for like 2-3 days, take the stack again, then he can get it to work. I would say this: that's not entirely abnormal because that's what you want to be doing. You want to be taking a stack for 2 days or so and then switch to another stack that you figured out works well for you, and kind of just keep doing that throughout the course of 5-6 days that you're taking nootropics, or even 5 days. And then even optimally the next week, you would want to take a different set of stacks. And that's why you should experiment and have a book of experiments of stuff. But if you want to take this stack for like 3 or 4 days straight, which is probably max what I would say you can take this stack, then there is a way to make it stop working and or making you lethargic after 2 days. And that would be to do the following. Take your alpha GPC dose, which is at 200 milligrams, down to 60 milligrams. That's one of the major ways you're going to stop this from causing cholinergic lethargy and overload, which is happening here. I don't want to change a whole lot of this. I mean, the next thing is I'd probably take the Noopept down to like 4 or 5 milligrams. The reason that you're running into these problems is just because you're hyper exciting the cholinergic systems of your brain, and when that neurotransmitter gets in excess, we talk about this all the time. I almost feel like it's like beat a dead horse, but some folks don't know, so that's okay. Then you're going to run into these sort of problems. So if you want to make that stack more sustainable, GPC down to like 60, Noopept down to like 4 or 5 milligrams is what I'd say. Everything else looks great. I think that's an awesome stack. Number 2 is 2 sprays of Noopept nasal spray, 100 milligrams of CDP choline. Everything looks good so far here. But then 5 milligrams PRL-853. This is a college kid who's trying to study and take exams and do tests and do well in college. And he says sort of the same thing. I can only take it for a couple days, works well for a couple days, thereafter just makes me tired. I don't want to study and I'm unfocused. The first thing that's going to happen when you combine Noopept, especially nasal spray, this is high concentration Noopept because you're spraying it intranasally here, and PRL-853 because they're both mechanistically similar. is lethargy and or a lack of motivation, lack of focus. Usually when people combine the two in high doses, I think that's the issue. You can combine the two. I've done it before, and we suggest stacks that will work for that. Usually the first thing to happen is short-term memory loss, and that again is some compensatory action by the brain, because you're pumping too much of a neurotransmitter up, you're optimizing too much of a neurotransmitter. So what I would do is first you have to look at your Noopep nasal spray. Each spray is like, 6 or 7, 8 milligrams. It all depends. It's sort of close to that. The conversion is difficult because you're spraying intranasally, and you have to think about how much more effective that is and how much quicker it hits your brain because you're doing that. So nasal spraying, regular, had you had like 10 milligrams of regular Noopept, 100 milligrams of CDP choline, and then 5 milligrams of PRL 853, I think you'd be fine. It's just that you got this like super bioavailable, instantly effective nasal spray solution. So if you want to keep the stack relatively the same, meaning if you want to keep all those ingredients in there, what I would do is either try a half a spray of Noopep nasal spray, and I know that's difficult because I have Noopep nasal spray, and it's like you just have to not do a full spray. You have to do like just a little bit of a spray. I do that sometimes, and it's just a good bump above baseline when I don't need a whole lot of brain function. Or just take it down to one full spray. That's what I would do. And then keep everything else the same, and you should be fine. If you're going to keep 2 sprays in Noopep nasal spray because you feel like it has a benefit, then you're going to have to take the PRL down to like 2 milligrams. That stuff's highly effective, even in 1 milligram quantities for some people. Think about it, the dose is 5 milligrams. So you're going to have to take your dose down on that if you want to fix that. The last suggestion I would make, or other option I would suggest, is to take the nasal spray Noopep completely out of it and just take 10 milligrams of regular powdered Noopep. That's going to be a lot better on you. It's still going to give you good brain function, and you can stack it with PRL. I think your dose on CDP choline is fine. 100 milligrams is pretty modest and pretty good and conservative, and that'll keep the stack sustainable without getting you into cholinergic overload. So I think that's okay. But if all else fails, all the suggestions that I gave just now fail, then try everything but bump the CDP choline. Take the CDP choline dose down to like 50 milligrams and go from there. Last stack is not, the guy has no results of the stack. I mean, I guess he says that he likes it, but he doesn't say like there's anything wrong with the stack, but just one of my opinion on it. It's a short stack. It's a gram of tyrosine, 200 milligrams of NALT. You guys probably see where I'm going to go with this. 200 milligrams of theacrine, and then 200 milligrams of centrophenoxine. Well, I would say this, if the stack is affecting you well, then that's good. There's not much of a critique I can give there, other than to say it's apparent that for some reason or other you're not making enough dopamine, epinephrine, or norepinephrine, or making a lot of it via the tyrosine is allowing you to stay awake more. So I would say look at your sleep, or look at whatever the heck else is going on. Probably a thyroid hormone output problem. That is like the biggest thing. Folks respond to tyrosine really, really well and need to take it, fine, but you got to look at your thyroid hormone output. The other thing is like it's a little redundant because you're not going to need 200 milligrams of NALT in this stack when you got a gram of tyrosine. You just don't need it. Whoa, the mic fell off. I guess I can just hold it. So you can save yourself some money and some complexity of the stack just by removing the NALT, or maybe even taking the NALT down to 50 milligrams. I've read all the studies on the difference between the two, and NALT doesn't necessarily raise plasma tyrosine any much more significantly than regular tyrosine does, so it ends up being redundant. So I would take that out of the stack. I like that you got a lot of theacrine in there. If you can handle 200 milligrams of theacrine, that's pretty cool. That's stimulatory stuff. Centrophenoxine at 200 milligrams, yeah, I mean, good. That's a hit or miss nootropic compound. Some folks take it and they just love it, because whatever pathway it's optimizing in terms of cholinergic signaling, they need, and it works really well for their brain. I can't take that much centrophenoxine unless I'm taking a B complex and I'm stacking it with some other stuff, and I can only take like 1 or 2 days in a row. Otherwise I'll start to feel lethargic and tired, and like my brain isn't working well. But otherwise, look, if it's working for you, great. I think it's a pretty good stack, and it's a simple stack. There's only 4 compounds in there. I love those stacks. You guys know that. Ryan at livecortex.com if you would like me to, sorry, I'm holding the mic, the thing unclipped. critique a stack on air. I actually want to do more of these so we can kind of talk about some of the details, infusing our nootropics methodology into videos a little more. Ryan at livecortex.com with your stack. I'd love to critique it on the air. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Remember, Cortex stack, $33 at the website. If you want a discount on Cortex, you totally can get one, but you got to buy a couple bottles. You can buy 2 for $48, 3 for $70, or 4 for $90. Do that at livecortex.com. If you need my help on stack critiquing or formulating stacks that work well for you, I've been doing this for just about 12 years. We could figure out stacks that will work well for you in whatever profession you have. Get the consulting service, livecortex.com. If you're new to nootropics, you guys know the routine: Smarter, Better, Faster, the Nootropics Starter Pack, or the Nootropics Starter Pack Pro. And if you are a man and you have crappy libido and you cannot lose fat and you cannot build muscle and you are not motivated for life, you got to boost tests. There's many ways to boost tests, but a lot of them out there are only marginally effective. There's one way that I know of besides TRT or androgel that boosts testosterone measurably and effectively. It's a complex protocol of a lot of things, but it's addressing things from a systems perspective. The only way you're going to fix any problem in your body is a systems perspective. Testosterone isn't one thing. You can't just take pine pollen powder and you're good. You can't just take nettle root to prevent testosterone. You can't just take DHEA. You can't just take pregnenolone. There's so many things you have to do. We got a protocol for it. It's called the Viking Testosterone Protocol. $99, cheapest it's ever been at livecortex.com. And then lastly, if you have adrenal fatigue, it's going to debilitate you. I know what it's like to have it. You have no energy. You have massive fluid imbalance. You're not making adrenal hormones. Your testosterone's going to tank also. But it ruins your quality of life to the point where you're almost sick in bed when you have adrenal fatigue. It's terrible. Anyway, we can help you out. We got a protocol. It's called the Adrenal Protocol, and you get that at livecortex.com. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Talk to you next time.